My name is Domingo Vasquez. I am your platform speaker today, and we'd like to welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center. We are honored to have you chosen to gather with us this morning. If you are here for the first time, we delight to have you here with us, and also if you feel comfortable raising your hands, we also have a welcome packet that we'd like to give you. Is there anybody who would like to have one? If not, you may pick one up when in our foyer when you leave. Unity is a positive, practical, open-minded approach to Christianity based on the teachings of Jesus Christ and the power of affirmative prayer. We believe that all people are created with sacred worth, and we are free of discrimination on the basis of race, gender, age, creed, religion, ethnicity, ability, and sexual orientation. We honor all paths to God. As we begin today's service, please affirm with me Unity Spiritual Center's core values. Together, we are accepting, spirit-filled, joyous. Also, our vision statement, a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission statement, Unity Spiritual Center is a loving environment that nurtures spiritual growth while serving one another and the world. As we begin, please mute your cell phones to ensure that everyone can enjoy the service. As the prayer box is brought forward, let us join in our song, Surely the Presence. We open the service by lighting the Christ candle, which symbolizes the divinity within each one of us. And we ring the prayer bowl, allowing its vibration to weave us together and ground us in the presence and power of Spirit. For those of you who have prayer requests, I invite you to fill them out at this time and place them in our offering basket during the service. Prayer slips can be picked up on your way in our sanctuary. Also, they may be found in your pews. Please hold on to these till we pick them up here shortly. Keep them in your hand and we'll go to prayer. Father, Mother God, we are once again thankful and grateful to be here, Lord. And God, we just ask that you continue to weave us as a family in love and light. I thank you for each individual and just ask that we just kind of set aside the things in this past week and just stay connected, and that we will enjoy the time we have here. We thank you for Brother Mike and his music and the magic that he brings to this service. We ask once again to continue to be mindful of the things around us, the situation in various countries, whatever those situations are, famine, earthquakes, floods, people in need, that you continue to provide and heal in those particular situations. We thank you for each individual that's a part of contributing to this ministry, and we ask that you bless this time. And we believe these things to be so, and so it is. daily word. Joy. God's joy blesses each day of my life. The aroma of my favorite food from childhood brings a happy memory to mind. Hearing the voice of a dear one warms my heart. Looking upon a newly born's face for the first time invokes a feeling words cannot describe. While the giddy excitement of a child's joy may now be a memory, the joy I know today still delights me. Each day I embrace more completely the joy of knowing I am living expression of God. God's life lives as me. God's wisdom is within me, my guide to a deepening understanding of myself and the world around me. I share with people who are dear to me in God's love, living in each heart and expressing as each of us. What greater joy could there be? Rejoice always. And again I say rejoice. 1 Thessalonians 5:16. And if you bow your heads for a minute, we'll go to, we did that already. Okay. Introduction. Brother Mike, it's good to see you again. Brother Mike is back with us again. He visited with us last June. And we always appreciate his message, his music, his gifts, and the opportunity for a weekend bonfire, which was last night. A bit of background about Mike. Mike Cleary has been a speaker at many churches and organizations for many years. He has been a member of Unity Church since 1985. Mike is a published author, a musician, a host of 2 television shows, Happy New You and Mike Cleary Presents. He and his wife Sharon live in Bella Vista, Arkansas. And we welcome Mike, for we'll have special music. Brother Mike? Did I miss something? No? Okay.
You can color and cut your hair, change the style of clothes you wear, put color and contact lenses in your eyes. But if you don't fix the inner you, no matter what you try to do, you won't fool yourself with your disguise. Wherever you go, there you are. You can run from yourself, but you won't get very far. If you don't change what's inside you, the outside will not hide you. Wherever you go, there you are. You can leave that small apartment for a great big fancy mansion. You can move from Abilene to Zanzibar. But if the old you that's inside is gonna come along for the ride, 'cause no matter where you go, well, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. You can run from yourself, but you won't get very far. If you don't fix what's inside you, the outside will not hide you. Wherever you go, there you are. You can speak with a classy accent, like from Boston or the Hamptons. You can trade that beat-up truck for a brand new car. But if you don't change the you inside, the old you's come along for the ride, 'cause no matter where you go, well, there you are. No matter where you go, there you are. You can run from yourself, but you won't get very far. If you don't change what's inside you, the outside will not hide you. Wherever you go, there you are. Yeah, no matter where you go, well, there you are. Thank you. I'm Mike Cleary, and you know who you are. Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Springfield, Missouri. On this wonderful fall-ish day. It's not quite fall yet. It'll be here in a few days, but it feels like fall already. I was talking to a woman not too long ago, and she reminded me of a talk that I had given many years ago. The name of the talk was Stay in Your Lane. Well, the talk was about the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. Well, the letter of the law is, let's say you're driving down a road, a 2-lane road, and there's a double yellow line in the middle. The letter of the law says, stay in your lane. Don't go into the other lane. That's what the double yellow line means, stay in your lane. However, if you're driving along and a bale of hay falls off a truck ahead of you, blocking the lane, or a deer or a dog runs out in front of you, you can veer into the other lane if you need to. That's the spirit of the law. Letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. Well, when she told me that, when she said, stay in your lane, that's not what came to my mind. My mind sometimes jumps to different things, and what happened is that I thought about the first time I had been bowling. I was probably 10 years old, and I'd never been bowling before. And I think I picked up a ball that was too heavy for me, and my fingers didn't fit the holes, right? Okay. So when you're bowling, usually you let go of the ball like down here. Well, I let the ball like up here. And it soared like into the next lane with a big thud, probably put a dent in the alley there, and probably knocked a few pins down of the person in the lane next to mine. And that's what I thought of when I thought, stay in your lane, okay? With bowling, okay, if the pins are there, don't go to anybody else's lane, stay in your own lane. Well, there's something that little kids can do, and I haven't seen it for a while. I don't know if they still do that or not, and it's called bumper bowling. What they do is they inflate these long tubes, and they put them in the gutters so that the kids can roll the ball and not get a gutter ball. Okay, it's called bumper bowling, right? So the kids, if they push the ball with enough effort, they can knock some pins down. Wouldn't that be a great metaphor for our own lives? If we had a goal in mind and we had enough energy to get the ball rolling, so to speak, we're guaranteed success. You are guaranteed to get some pins down. That would be a great thing for our lives. If we had enough energy to start our intention, we would be successful. And you say, pish posh, Mike, that's not true. I don't believe that. There's many things that I try to do and I don't have success. Well, just because you don't get a strike does not mean you're not a success. Let me illustrate again. Let's say you want to be a painter, okay? You take a canvas, put some paint on the canvas, and guess what? You're a painter. You sit down in front of the keyboard and start tapping away. You're a musician. Not necessarily a good one, but you've achieved what you set out to be. You're not perfect at it, but what you have set your intention to be is what you have succeeded in. Too many times we set our goals and we say, if I'm not going to be perfect at it, I'm not even going to try. You know, if I'm not going to be the best that I can be, then why even bother? There's a movie reference that I like speak of once in a while, and it's called Young Sherlock Holmes. It's where Sherlock Holmes and Watson meet for the first time at school. Watson comes in and he finds Sherlock sawing away on the fiddle, on the violin. And Holmes is frustrated, and he goes, I should have mastered this thing by now. Watson says, how long have you been playing it? He says, 3 days. We set our goals, and if we're not good at something immediately, we consider ourselves a failure. We want to get a strike every time we roll the ball. We want to be perfect at something. I saw a sign in the school one time, and it said, I would rather attempt at something great and fail than attempt nothing and succeed. Get the ball rolling and start your intention toward your goal, and you will be successful. Don't let your fear of not being perfect get in the way, or not being the best at it. Even musicians still practice hours every day. Even though they are good at what they do, they still practice. They still strive to be better than what they are. People don't stay in continuing what they're doing because they want to be great. They want to be perfect. Well, what if I told you that you can succeed at whatever you try, even though you're not perfect, because you cannot fail if you try. You can't fail. You're guaranteed success, just like the bumper bowling. You're guaranteed to achieve your goal. There's another movie I like to cite. I like to cite movies a lot in my talks. I have a talk about the correlation between Herman Melville's Moby Dick and the movie Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan. I'll have to do that for some future talk. It's an interesting correlation between those two. But there's another movie I'd like to cite, and it's Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks and Kevin Bacon. This is a movie about the moon mission that took place in April of 1970. And it had some issues because during the flight, one of the air canisters sprung a leak. And Houston, we have a problem. Well, in the film, Ed Harris played the part of Gene Kranz, who was a flight manager at Houston's Mission Control. And Gene Kranz said the immortal line, failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Later, Gene Kranz admitted, he said, I never said that. But it's such a great line, he used it as a title for his memoirs. Failure is not an option. He said, I wish I would have said that. But can you imagine if your life would be like if failure was not an option? Failure is not an option. If you set your goal at doing something, you would succeed. I saw a post one time that said, dance as though nobody is recording it for social media. You know, you don't have to be perfect at anything. You just need to start and try, and you will succeed. Just like those bumper bowling thing. But too many times, we put ourselves in our way. We create obstacles and barriers toward our success. We say, well, I'm never going to be good enough. I'm never going to be a good enough dancer, never going to be enough singer, never going to be a good enough artist. Why even bother? We put up those barriers to keep us from achieving our success. Another little story from when I was young. I was probably 10 years old. And it's not easy to remember back that far. Now that getting on in years. It's hard to remember back to when I was like 10 years old. But I went to a birthday party. It was my friend Dave Larson's birthday party. And I was probably 10 years old. And they had a game that they played. They cleared out the whole large area. And they put the birthday boy at the end of the room. and they put paper plates all over the floor. Then they put a blindfold on Dave and said, walk from this end to the other end of the room without stepping on any of them. Okay? Little did he know that all the kids pulled the paper plates away when they blindfolded him. So he's walking there going, turn left, turn right, and go back up. And he's weaving around the room, and there's no paper plates on the floor. The only obstacles that were there were in his mind. He created the barriers, the obstacles, and he got to the other end of the room, and we put all the plates back, and he turned around and, hey, you did it. Imagine what your life would be like if you had no obstacles to stop you from achieving your goal. If failure was not an option. If you got the ball rolling, metaphorically, you would succeed in knocking down those pins. It's another reference I have to a story. There was a woman that lived in the 1940s. Her name was Florence Foster Jenkins. And in the 1940s, the men were coming back from World War II injured and some were debilitated. And she felt bad, so she wanted to give a concert for them to say thank you for their appreciation for their involvement, their contribution in the war. So she got Carnegie Hall, sent out all the invitations, got the orchestra ready. There was one tiny little detail that she didn't address, and the fact was she couldn't sing. Completely tone deaf, okay? Could not sing a single note. But that didn't stop her. Packed it to the walls. Carnegie Hall, sold out performance, and she sang-ish to the audience. And naturally, the newspapers were not very kind in their reviews. It kind of slammed her. And her response was, you may say that I can't sing, but you can never say that I didn't sing. Imagine what your life would be like if you didn't have obstacles in your way. If failure was not an option. If success was guaranteed. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to set that goal so high for yourself that you don't even bother. But if you know in your mind that you can conceive it, and in your heart you believe it, then you can achieve it. Anything is possible, and the possibilities are infinite. I have a song, of course, that goes with that as well. If I can do that. It's called What Would You Do? What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? If you convince yourself that you can't take it, then you've already lost the fight. If you think you can or you think you can't make it, either way, you know that you're right. What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? set the bar too high for you to reach it, there's a possibility that you will fall. If you give it a try, well, you just might achieve it. Better chance than if you don't try at all. What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? When you push aside those walls that block you, imagine all the hills that you'll climb. Most of the things that do will stop you or only exist in the depths of your mind. So what would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? What would you do if you could do it? What would you do if you could do? This is our time for meditation and inner communion with ourselves and with the Spirit. Let's take a moment to center ourselves. Bring your attention to what surrounds you. The air conditioning, music of the keyboard, maybe some vehicles passing nearby, the sounds of people near you. Become aware of what is around you. Draw your attention inward. Abandon that which is surrounding you and pull yourself inward. Focus your attention on your body, your breathing, your heartbeat, your muscles, your limbs. Bring your awareness to you. Bring your attention even deeper, below that which surrounds us, deeper into ourselves, to that small, silent space. That is where Spirit dwells. It is where we communicate with the Creator. It is beyond the world, beyond the physical, beyond ourselves. It is that small, still voice within us. Whenever we have a care or a concern, a prayer need, a difficulty or a challenge, we can go deep within ourselves to that spirit spot, that space deep below the physical. Here is where we can surrender our cares and concern. Here is where we can offer our prayers. Here is where we can communicate with the divine. Whatever we are challenged with in the world, whatever we are challenged with in ourselves, we can go deep within to that voice and surrender. And it is in this knowing and in thankfulness that we can communicate with the Spirit. That we say thank you. And so it is.
Hello, I hope you've enjoyed today's service. I hope that it has touched your heart, that it has impacted you in a positive way and helped you on your spiritual journey. I want to let you know that this center is fully supported by the generous donations of people that resonate with our message. So I hope you will consider giving by going online and giving a gift and helping us to continue this message. Thank you and God bless.
Announcements. Our fellowship, our fellowship foyer is held once per month now, and second Sunday. And so if you'd like to be a part of that, you can sign up. There's a sheet out in our foyer. Explorers Group. It's amazing how the Explorer Groups kind of just falls right in line with the message at times. And this was one of those times. And we are also have been talking about progressiveness and blessings that we receive and how it all just kind of ties in with the message. Meditation, she told you about the meditation. We have another one scheduled?
Not yet.
Not yet, to be announced. Yes. So watch your email. Our yoga class, wasn't this was postponed temporarily?
Yeah.
There's
We may be starting another type of class. Keep tuned. We'll be discussing that
okay,
today.
okay. Yes. Get ready for an amazing book study, and it's Wednesday night book study. It's Living Untethered. Untethered, thank you. Beyond the Human Predicament by Michael Singer. We studied his book down in our book study, so he's a wonderful author. It's be an 8-week, starting October the 4th. In person there, it's here at the Unity Center. If not, you can catch us on Zoom. And love offering suggested. World Council of Churches. No, wait a minute. Council of Churches. What am I talking about? Council of Churches diaper drive. Bring any diapers, any sizes, if you wish. Bring them to the office, and we will give them to the disposable diapers to the church office. Workshop, practicing mindfulness in a daily life, starts September the 26th on a Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 9 here at Unity Spiritual Center. Thank you, flowers donated by volunteers like you. We need flowers, sponsors of the balance of the year. Please help. So get with Andy. Thank you, sir. Workshop, Enhancing the Journey. Reverend Eleanor will be facilitating that Sunday, September the 24th from 12:45 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. Suggest love offering also. Pet blessing. I remember the last one we had dogs in here. That's a pretty neat experience. Will be Saturday, October the 7th here at 2 p.m. Daniel Namod is coming to Unity of Springfield. And I guess it's a concert, maybe? Okay, September the 30th at 7 p.m.
It will be worth it, trust me.
Okay,
We've seen him.
Yes, we have.
okay.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Okay, next Sunday service, Reverend Eleanor Caffrey is back from woundedness to glory. That ought to be really a blessing. That it? Thanks. Now, thank yous. We'd like to thank our flowers from Andrew Reed. Andy, well, that's celebrating our church family and my father's visit to Springfield, Missouri. It was nice to meet your dad. That's awesome. Ushers, Lori and Andrew. our AV techs, Kelsey and Austin. Music director, our very own Tim. And yours truly, Domingo Rosco Vasquez. Especially thank you for Mike Cleary. Thank you, brother, for coming and for your music and your talent and the magic that you bring to our church family. Next, peace song. Let's all gather together.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now let's join together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.